Okay, so this is Actual Conversations. Today I'm going to be talking about Tamar's boyfriend. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. It's all over the media, where he's basically saying that he's a victim of domestic violence and how he has filed for a restraining order against Tamar during her time of grief. Because, as far as I know, she's most likely in the hospital. Hopefully, she's out of the hospital, or she's probably hiding um, from people. Let me just go ahead and put a disclaimer. I do curse, I do carry on, I do talk about sexuality and things like that. I do keep it 1,000. And this is also an astrology channel. So I'm going to be talking about some of the signs. But from what I've heard, I think that Tamar's boyfriend, I'm not really sure, but I think that Tamar's boyfriend is a Cancer, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, we know that Tamar, she is a Pisces. But let me go ahead and say something real quick. And this is just my opinion, okay? This is my opinion on how I feel about things. But not all Pisces people are the same, okay? Because we have Pisces people who are born in the month of February. They are very different from Pisces who are born in the month of March. In my opinion, and no disrespect to the Pisces out there, but my opinion is I think that Pisces people who are born in the month of March are a little bit more meaner, in my opinion, than Pisces who are born in the month of February. Again, that's just my opinion. That's the experience that I've had with Pisces people, that I just, from whatever reason, I feel like they're a little bit more aggressive. They more so share like the energy of Aries if they're born in the month of March. This is my opinion. So Tamar is born on March 17, 1977. That makes her a life path number 8. Um and she just recently got divorced from Vincent Herbert. I have opinions on that, which I will be talking about tonight. But I don't know if you guys heard recently that her boyfriend um basically took it amongst himself and went on Instagram. He has like a little financial channel where he talks about, you know, just giving good he gives good advice as far as like things that you should invest in, stocks and bonds, and how you should clear up your debt and how to keep your credit score high. So he's a he gives great financial advice. But myself and many others, when we first because I first heard about her boyfriend when Tamar was on the Wendy Williams show, and she was talking about how she was dating this African guy and how he was so sexy, he was so this, he was so that. um and we was all happy for Tamar because from what we heard, she was in a toxic relationship with Vince, and she was so destroyed. And as far as we all know, she was claiming that Vincent, he was abusing her. And we all accused Vince of well, not all of us, but a lot of people thought Vince was abusing her. But then when you hear about stories like this where her new boyfriend saying that how she attacked him and she's abusing him, it kind of makes you wonder, like, who is really the aggressor here? Who's really the abuser? Is it these men that are abusing Tamar? Which I'm going to get into that in a minute, because I did pull up her astrology chart. And there was some things in her astrology chart that kind of raised a red flag for me. And this is some of the things that I've been talking about for quite some time. Wherever you have Saturn in your chart, to me that's like a place in your life where you're gonna go through a lot of hardships and trouble. And lo and behold, I go through Tamar's chart, and guess what? She has a planet in her astrology chart that I'm finna talk about. Okay, but I want to let's listen to her boyfriend. I mean, to me, this is just my opinion. If I was dating a dude for like 2 or 3 years, and he did this to me, and he went on the media and he put me on blast, and he started talking shit about me behind my back during a time of trouble. And again, I do curse, so please, if you're not into that, then just run off and go somewhere else, because I'm finna give it to you. But if it was me and I was dating a dude and he did some backstabbing shit like this to me, he would be cut clean the fuck off. I will never fuck with him ever again after he did what he did. So I'm gonna play the tape. I'm sure you guys heard it. If you haven't heard it, it's on. He has an Instagram page. It's also on Media Takeout. You could just Google it, and basically her boyfriend is up there, I guess, saying his piece because, according to the records, the police were called because they got into a car crash, and I guess the story just sounds fugazi to me. You know what I mean? Because you got into a car crash, the police were called, and when they came on the scene, now you want to say that you were punched in your neck by your jugular vein, and she attacked him, and I guess he wants to sue her now. Look, I have absolutely no idea why he felt the need to go on media and do this to her, especially a time when she has so-called wanted to commit suicide. What would make somebody do this? But to be honest with you, I see the way folks is moving now. I've been out of the loop for so long dealing with people. Now I'm back into, not really into the loop because I'm not really dealing with people like that because I got a lot of things going on that I'm trying to sort out in my life. But from the folks that I have came across recently, folks is moving very, very shady these days. Okay, very, very shady. Um, Relationships are definitely not the way that I remember them how they were back in the days. It's like we have a new breed of people, and I don't know where these people came from. And I was just telling my friend, I don't know if the government has put something in the water because I just don't remember people acting so funny style like this. It's just really, really weird how people are moving, especially in relationships. I mean, if you come across a good one, my advice is to try to make that work because there's not that many good people out there. I mean, okay, so hey Toya, so you said you think he's a Sagittarius? Okay, yeah, so yeah, there's a couple of people on the internet who said they've been investigating trying to find out this dude's birthday, but for whatever reason nobody can really find out his information because I guess, he wasn't really like that in the media and but I know folks is finna find out his birthday because I would love to know what his sun sign is. And Toya, if he is a Sagittarius, it just makes sense as to why things ended up the way it is at this time. You know what I mean? As far as I know, Vince a Sagittarius, unless I got that wrong. As far as I know, Vincent Herbert, her second husband, because Tamar was married. Vince is her second husband. Okay, so as far as I know, Vince is a Sagittarius, and I'm finna go into that in a minute too. And I'm finna tell you guys, and this is just my opinion, and plus I know people personally who is a Pisces who was in a very, very long term relationship with a Sagittarius, and to be honest with you, it was good in the beginning, and then just like all relationships, everything is gravy in the beginning until after you get to know somebody. You don't like certain things that they do, they don't like certain things that you do, they start to turn you off, this, that, and the third. The whole social media culture is, fucking everybody's mind up. Everybody wants what they really can't really have. And it's just a lot of toxicity going on. But to be honest with you, this is just my opinion. Hopefully, I think I did do a video on that, but it's on my other channel, which I haven't even been on in months. But in my opinion, I don't really think that Pisces and Sagittarius make a good couple. That's just my opinion. I think that Sagittarius and Pisces are good for like one night stands and like business relationships. But as far as like really settling down long term and having children and being with them on a long level, I don't really think this is just my opinion. I don't really think that Sagittarius and Pisces is a good match because Sagittarius people, and I already have a dark side video. I'm not going to even go into that. You guys can listen to that. But that's my opinion. I just think that Sagittarius people are just a little bit more serious and take life a little bit more seriously than Pisces people. Again, it really depends because it's just not just the sun sign Pisces. We have to look at your moon, we have to look at your Venus, We have to look at your Mars and also your life path number. If you take all of those things in consideration, you do the synastry, then you can really get a good idea of how this relationship is going to at least turn out. But just from the sun signs alone, I don't really think that Pisces and Sagittarius makes a good match on the long term, because after a while, I think that the Pisces person will get on the Sagittarius nerve, and the Pisces person will start to feel some type of way, okay, get overly emotional to the point where it's, now stemming off into their work life, into their family life, and it's just not a good thing. And in my dark side Pisces video, you know what's so funny? Because I mentioned this and I know that this is true. And Pisces people, they do have a bad habit of doing this. Unless they're conscious, once you're conscious of the way you move and how you think and how you flow throughout life, there's certain things that you probably really won't do just off the whim anymore because you're not conscious. But Pisces people on the dark side, whenever they get into a relationship, this is just my opinion, they have a bad habit of bragging and boasting and flossing and flaunting their relationship. And I think that they do that naturally and unconsciously, not even realizing that by doing that, you're going to make other people jealous of you, envious of you, and also afflict the evil eye upon your relationship. And sadly enough, that's what happened, I think, to Vince and Tamar's relationship. I think that you know, that show that she had with Vince, when I first saw the show, I was so happy. I was an avid watcher. I would watch it every time it would come on. I would get ready, make sure everything was done so I could sit my ass down and watch Tamar and Vince, because I really love them as a couple. You know what I mean? I really liked their energy. I liked what they were showing the world. It's a black couple. They were successful, and I really thought that they were gonna move mountains. You know what I mean? And sadly enough, as a life path number 8 as she is, these are some of the things that, life path number 8 people really have to watch out for, is that, you know they may come into a situation where what goes up, you know may come down if they're not conscious of their behavior and their attitude. Okay. And sadly enough, it looks like Tamar was strike with that energy of the life path number 8 again, with the relationship not flowing too well organically, with her being a Pisces, and Vince, I think he's a Sagittarius, that not mixing well, and everything else, and all the peer pressure from her trying to make money, and just it was just a bad combination. Hey, INFJ Will. So you said you checked his Instagram. His birthday is November 23rd. So Scorpio Sagittarius cusp. Okay, yeah. So yeah, so if yeah, so man, I'm not I'm not surprised, yo. I'm not surprised that this happened. And I'm going to look at her chart. We're going to look together. I don't know if there's anybody on here who's into astrology like I am, but we're going to look at her chart together. There was some interesting things that I saw in her chart that if you have it in your chart, you know what I mean, it's going to give you a heads up as to how things may flow into your life. But let's listen to her Nigerian boyfriend. Okay, he's 50 years old, as far as I know, and he's saying that he was attacked. So I'm gonna play the tape, and let's listen to what homeboy gotta say.
For those of you who know about medicine and the jugular, that's what carries blood to your brain. When you're hit there, it discombobulates you. And I thought I was gonna crash. I had to, but I was driving fast. I had to call my mom. I called my mom. A 50-year-old guy having to call his mom when he's driving, and my mom started praying. I was in the car. My mom started praying. Um, Only to find out that after the blow, I was being secretly recorded.
Okay, let me just stop something right there. Why did homeboy say that he had to call his mom? So okay, let me get this straight, homeboy. You're driving. You're driving, right? And then you said that Tamar punched you in the neck, and I guess from what you're trying to explain, she purposely like tried to punch you in your jugular. Okay, which that doesn't even make sense to me because when a person is angry and they're upset and they have a bad temper, when they strike, I don't think that unless they're a fucking human snake, I don't think that they're like gonna be focused and say, okay, I'm gonna hit this motherfucker right in their jugular so they can fall. First of all, if you do shit like that and you hit somebody in their jugular purposely, you know you can kill that person. That's number one. Number two, um, they both could have died because if she would have hit him like he described in the jugular vein and he would have crashed, they both could have died. So that's number two. Number three, if you're such a smooth cat, like you're trying to make it seem like you are, why would she hit you for no reason? So you mean to tell me y'all was just cruising down the highway or wherever in Hollywood or wherever you guys were at, and then all of a sudden, Tay Tay, unless she's sniffing coke, she just bugged the fuck out and just was like, she just hit you in your jugular vein on purpose for no reason. You did absolutely nothing wrong, and she just hit you in your jugular vein for no reason, and you, your the blood stopped according to what he's saying. The blood didn't rush to his head and he was all wobbly. And then, so let me get this right, brother. Did you call your mother while you were going through the wobble and, while you guys were, going in and out of traffic? And did you call your moms before you crashed? Or did you call your moms after you crashed? I'm trying to figure out like when did you call your mother and why is that so important for you to mention that you called your mother? Another thing too, this is for the ladies only. This is just my opinion. Beware of mama's boys. Beware of mama's boys. And this is what he sounds like. He sounds like he's a mama's boy. I mean, there's one thing to love your mother. I love my mother. I'm sure that my sons, they love me too. But I don't want my sons to ever get to the point where, they become mama's boys and, that it's all about their mama, 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 mama when they're dealing with their girlfriend. Please leave me out of your relationship. And just like I told my daughter, like my daughter, she comes to me about problems that she's having with her boyfriend. I listen, but I don't really want to get too much involved in it because I don't want to be that mother who's all up in her child's or their child's relationship. I never ever want to be like that because I was in a relationship with somebody who was a mama's boy. And any little thing that you say about their mother, that's going to be a trigger for them to attack you. I'm sure that there's a lot of women out there who, they're in toxic relationships with men. And if a man wants to attack a woman or if he wants to get mad at her, if you say anything about his mother, that will be a reason for him to jump up in your face or, just anything. It's all about the mother. You're dating him and you got to know that he's going to come with his mother. You know what I mean? And it sounds like this is the type of dude that he was. And it's good. Again, it's great to have a good relationship with your mother. It really does show that, he's probably a good guy because he does love his mother. And, if you have respect and you love your mother, there's a good chance that you're going to love and respect your woman. But then at the same time, there can be a thin line when you're dealing with a man who is on his mom's like that because it's like if his mother doesn't like you, guess what? Eventually he'll stop liking you. And that's another thing that can happen when you're dealing with a mama's boy. So again, I'm not saying that he is, but I'm just not really sure why he even brought that up. I don't get why he had to bring up that he called his mother. And again, I wish I was in his show or his chat cuz I would have asked him, "Did you call your moms before the crash or after the crash?" And if you called your moms after the crash, what was the purpose of you calling your mother? Like, okay, he said that his mother was praying for him and he was his spiritual counselor. So to me it sounds like his mom's is really into his relationship. And as far as I know, this dude doesn't have any kids, as far as I know. And he's been going through a lot of relationships. And I'm wondering, did your relationships with a lot of those relationships based on how your mother felt? You know what I mean? So that's just my question that I have for Mr. whatever his last name is. Anyway, let me go back to what he was saying.
Um, only to find out that after the blow, I was being secretly recorded. Something that's illegal and unfair. And the tapes being sent to my family. The tapes of me in distress, in pain, calling my mom, were being sent to my family. Unfair. And the tapes being sent to my family. The tapes of me in distress, in pain, calling my mom, were being sent to my family and other people. Um,
Okay. Okay. So it sounds like I believe his name is David. Okay, so it sounds like David, it sounds like you're trying to cover something up. And it sounds like you are playing your cards right. You know what I mean? So it sounds like you started a paper trail, which that's what's up. Because you know what, to be honest with you, if I was in his shoes, or and this is advice that I would give my sons. You know what I mean? If you are in a relationship with a woman who is, sounds like to me what he's trying to say is that, Tamar is, trying to like set him up in a way as if he's abusing her. God knows what's going on behind the scenes. None of us knows what goes on in relationships. That's between those two people, okay? Only a fly knows what's really going on in any of us, in any of our lives. You know what I mean? Unless that person's going to come out and tell you what the real deal is, none of us really knows what really goes on in these toxic relationships. So it sounds like to me, from what he's trying to say, is that Tamar was trying to set him up. And my question is, again, for David, is, if you're such a smooth cat like you're portraying yourself to be, why would you be in a situation where you would get hit in the neck? Number one. Number two, why would you be in a situation where, you would be recorded? And where's all of this coming from? What did you do to cause something like this? And when you're dealing with a domestic violence situation, there's always two sides to the story. You know what I mean? Yes, there is a lot of people out there who are just fucking toxic. They're mean as hell. They have a problem. They always want to fight. They're always looking for war. And, they may just start some shit in a relationship, but 9 times out of 10, it's usually because something is not right on both ends, and somebody in a relationship was more of the aggressor, and just wasn't having it anymore, and they physically attacked. Usually that's what happens in a domestic violence situation. Not all the time, but usually it's because somebody, you know what I mean, was triggered. Um so, and then he also mentioned something about the tapes being sent to his family, and he was in distress. So it sounds like this may be something that he has done previously before, and this is why Tamar probably felt the need to record him and put him in the situation. But again, we haven't heard from Tamar. Tamar's not talking, just like a Pisces. Whenever a Pisces gets themselves in a situation, sometimes they do run away and they do hide. And then you won't hear from them for like months or years or whatever. And then all of a sudden they resurface again. So that could be what she's going through. Another thing, and again, this is just my opinion. I think that the show that is finna air on WeTV, I think is gonna show Tamar in a way that she's probably not used to being shown. And just her knowing that they're still gonna go out there and air her dirty laundry is probably a reason why she, felt the need to, suicide. Because I don't know if you guys heard, but they're saying that, Tamar, she wanted to commit suicide. You know what I mean? So this whole situation is just like weird to me. And I knew that something was wrong when Tamar cut her hair. When she came out with all her hair cut off, right there, I knew from the grip that something was not right. And it was just more than a haircut. That's just my opinion. When I saw that, I was like, you know what? Something ain't right. And then I think one time she was on Instagram and she had like a big ass bottle of vodka, and I could just see in her eyes that, something was not right. And this is another thing that I wanted to say also, is that sometimes you can be in a relationship with somebody, and that relationship could either make you or break you. You know what I mean? Break you in many different ways. Break you emotionally, financially, or mentally. You know what I mean? You could be doing just fine, and as soon as you get with this motherfucker, excuse my French, for some reason you're suffering from depression, you're going through financial hardship because the person that you're in a relationship with is not energetically supposed to be with you. But as a Pisces, and Pisces people do have a bad habit doing this. Let me make sure I'm still recording. Okay. This is just my opinion. But sometimes Pisces people on the dark side, they can force themselves to be with somebody that they know from the jump is not good for them. And for whatever reason, they still continue to go and they still try to make things work, and they try to mesh and force themselves to be with somebody who everybody can see that this person is not supposed to be for you, and you feel it in your heart as a Pisces that you know that this person is not good for you, but for whatever reason you still are pushing and trying to make something work which should have never worked from the jump. Now just looking at this picture, you can see that she don't make a good couple with Duke. I mean, can anybody see that? I mean, I think her sister, what's her name? Forgot her sister's name. Toya or something. I forgot her sister's name. But to me, this sister of hers and this guy, I don't know if that's her boyfriend. To me, they look more like a couple, more, you could just look at the body language and see that they have better connection than she does with him. Look how much of a gap that she has in between her and her boyfriend. Also, look at her son's face. You know how many pictures is out there where Tamar has like pictured herself with her new boyfriend and her son. I love her son. I think he's so cute. He reminds me of one of my cousins in my family named Andre. I love, love, love his son. He looks just like my cousin in my family. I love him so much. But I've seen so many pictures on the internet with Tamar trying to piece this relationship as if she's had this loving relationship that she just recently got out of with Vince, and she got a second daddy for her son. But for some reason, every time I've seen her son, he never really had like a smile on his face. Like you could tell, like her son, you could tell that her son wasn't really feeling Duke from the beginning. And that's another thing I want to talk about too. This is just my opinion. I think that, you know, when you're dating somebody, I think that especially if you're a woman or even a man, if you have young children, try to date that person for as long as you can before you start to introduce them to your child or children. Because if the relationship doesn't work out, you now are faced with your child, you know what I mean, wondering what happened to my stepfather, what happened to my stepmother, you know what I mean, again looking at you going through another failed relationship, and those things affect children, you know what I mean. So my opinion is, if you have young children, as much as you love the dude, as much as you love the woman, just try to hold off as far as introducing them to the children until you really, really get to know this person and really feel like this person is safe enough to be around your children. Because I'm sure if Tamar would have saw that dude, would have did what he did as far as going on the internet and backstabbing her the way he did, I think she would have thought twice about introducing this dude to her son, which to me, the body language and the facial expressions that her son had, I don't think he ever really, really liked it, this dude. You know what I mean? This is just my opinion. But anyway, let me go to the chat real quick, make sure that I'm not holding anything back. Um, so Toya, if you're still here, you said, can you do more videos on Pisces, please? Because that's one sign I don't understand. Laugh out loud. I'm a Cancer. Yes, Toya, I would love to do more videos on Pisces. I guess we could say that I'm doing one now because Tamar is a Pisces woman, and Pisces people, especially Pisces women, again, Pisces February and Pisces March, they're two different energies. And you know what I mean? Pisces people, they can be extremely emotional. I'm sure you guys know about me and this channel and my emotions and all the different mood swings and all this roller coasting rides that I've been through on this channel. That's just how Pisces is. And to be honest with you guys, let me make sure that I'm still recording. Okay, so I'm good. I don't know how women even date Pisces men, to be honest with you, because Pisces men, in my opinion, they can be just as emotional as Pisces women. And you have to be a special kind of person to even deal with a Pisces person. You know what I mean? My sister is a Pisces. I can't even be in the same room with her without us attacking each other for whatever reason, because we don't click like that. I recently started talking to a Pisces guy. You know what I mean? We're not really, we're just talking to him, and he's cool or whatever. But just being around him, it just makes me realize, like, wow, he really is emotional like I am. But I do understand him. Um but I just, to be honest with you, when I'm with him and stuff like that, I'm just like, I just question myself, and I'm like, I don't know how women do this. Like, I don't know how women date Pisces men, because to be honest with you, it's just too emotional for me. You know what I mean? It's too sensitive, and they just get caught up too quick and shit, and they're just not strong enough. But again, that's not every Pisces person, so please don't think that I'm talking about every Pisces person and trying to dog them out, because I'm not. But it's just my opinion. Like, I just feel like, me personally, I would have to be with somebody who has like a lot of earth in their chart, who could be like more of a rock for me, because I mean, like, I already talked about this in my Pisces, when I talked about Pisces sexuality, and how I think like two Pisces together would just be like a bad mix. um in some cases, not all, because I think that sometimes they could just be like really inflaming the toxicity together within the relationship, to the point where nothing gets done, to the point where nothing gets developed. And you do need something strong and stable when you're dealing with a Pisces person. And if this dude is a Sagittarius, like, people are claiming him to be, I could see why, just after a while, he was just like tired of Tamar. And just watching the little clips of Tamar on this little wee TV that she's doing with Mona Scott, that's another thing too. Why do people continue to do reality shows with Mona Scott? Everybody knows that. Well, I don't know if everybody knows, but I mean, the track record, I mean, we all see from the track record that things don't usually turn out all the way good when you're doing a reality show with Mona Scott, for whatever reason. So I don't know why people continue to put their life in her hands, thinking that everything is going to turn out gravy, when 9 times out of 10, she's probably going to be like a snake and smile up in your face and stab you right in your back and put you on Front Street so everybody can fucking see the bad side of you. And it never really turns out right, unless you're a fake ass person. If you're a fake ass person and you can, do your thing. Hold on for a second. Hello? What? Si- I'm sorry. I'm in the mix of doing some. You, baby. You. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, okay. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. So what are you trying to tell me? When? Okay. I'm here chilling. Chilling. Mm-mm. I'm here chilling. Mhm. Wow. And you know what? I never seen that show because to be honest with you, I don't watch TV. To be honest with you, no, I don't. I really don't watch TV. I don't have time. Yeah. Uh huh. No, I'm not. I'm not. But they bet. They bet. Everybody's gravy. Where you at? Oh, okay. 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 You want me to roll up? Cause I'll roll up. Are you serious? All right. So I'm gonna roll up. Send me the address and don't front this time. All right. All right. So text me the address. All right. Later. All right. Okay, so I am totally sorry about that. Let me make sure I'm still recording. Oh my god. What the heck? Okay, so all right, so I am totally sorry about that. Hopefully I'll put this video on private, but let me go ahead and continue. Let me go ahead and continue. Anyway, where was I at? Yeah, so anyway, as far as like the body language is concerned, I mean, it's clear as day that the little boy, for whatever reason, every time I seen a picture with him and homeboy, they never really he never really looked like he liked him like that, you know what I mean? And sometimes kids, they pretty much know, like, if this dude is not good for you, you know what I mean? But the mama and the dada, sometimes, you know parents, they be so caught up in a relationship that they're not really seeing people for who they truly are. And sometimes Pisces people, you know what I mean, they can get caught up like that, where they're not really seeing people for who they are until it's too late. And then by the time it's too late and they're not even able to see the person for who they truly are, you know what I mean, everything falls down, you know what I mean? So that's like a bad trait with Pisces people, is that they don't really take heed to how they feel about a person from the jump, because usually from the jump you know if this person is not going to be good for you. But for whatever reason, Pisces, they still keep pushing and pushing and pushing, trying to make things work. And then sadly enough, shit doesn't work out. um so this is another picture of her boyfriend David, and he is with Vince. Now, if these guys right here, if they're Sagittarius men, we can all see why they get along well. It looks like they get along well in this picture. Another thing too, this is just my opinion, okay? This is just my opinion. This may be way far fetched, but I believe that Vince and Mona are cool. Okay? I believe that they're cool. So if Vince and Mona Scott are cool and Mona was behind the scenes gathering up all this information on Tamar and seeing another side of her that nobody really was able to see, and she's cool with Vince. I mean, who knows? Again, this could be way, 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 way far fetched. But who knows if Vince, you know what I mean, had set this whole situation up where the cameras would be rolling to get a real inside look to see how Tamar was living with her boyfriend and how things was ending up. You know what I mean? And just, I mean, this is just my opinion. I mean, to be honest with you, if it was me and I was dating a dude, or if my ex-husband was friendly with a reality producer and they wanted to come up in my home and just take me because I'm so thirsty and hungry for money because of the COVID, I probably wouldn't sign that deal. Number one, because my ex-husband is cool with the lady who's all up in my business and all up in my life with my new man. That's number one. Number two, it's just too close for comfort. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you guys have been hearing through the grapevine, but a lot of people are saying that this dude is funny style to the point where they're thinking that he may be going both ways because of the body language. I don't know, but I don't know. For some reason, I don't know if it's because he's from Nigeria or whatever. But again, that has nothing to do with it. But I just don't understand. It's just something about his energy. A lot of people are just saying something is just not right with his energy. Um, but again, this is just my opinion. But I'm glad to see that he's getting along with, her ex husband, and that is something that is good because there's a child involved, and if you know what I mean, if any parent who is not together with their child's mother, you kind of do want to have somewhat of a good relationship with, I mean, you don't have to be best friends, but you do want to have some type of cordial kind of communication, so a decent kind of relationship with your child's mother's boyfriend or with your boyfriend's girlfriend, especially if you have kids that's going to be around them. You kind of want to have some type of decent, communication with that person because they're around your child. You know what I mean? You never ever want to be in a relationship with somebody who hates the fuck out of your baby's mother or hates the fuck out of your husband or hates the fuck out of your ex-wife, because if you have children around somebody who hates that person like that, best to believe that that person, as soon as you turn your back, they may be afflicting that child physically, mentally, or even emotionally because they hate that parent so much. So you never ever want to have a child in such a toxic relationship where the other people are not getting along. So I'm glad to see that these two guys are smiling. They're getting along. It looks like, it's a friendly demeanor from what I'm seeing. So that's good. That's really good. Um but again, something about the body language and Tamar and this guy, for some reason, I don't know, but something just never really, it just never really seems like it just doesn't seem like this is the one for her. And I mean, as beautiful as Tamar is and as attractive as this guy is, it just doesn't seem like they're supposed to be together. I mean, from the pictures that I'm seeing, they just don't have, for some reason, they just don't have that body language together. And again, you know, when you first get with somebody, if this person is for you, because the energy has to match up. I've dated somebody recently, and I knew from the grip, as soon as I was around him, after a while I just said, to myself, that this dude is not for me. He's not for me because the chemistry just wasn't there. You know what I mean? And as much as he wanted to force it, And as much as I would have liked it, I just knew that it just wasn't the one. So just so we can stop wasting each other's time, you go on and find your queen and I'll go on and do my thing, because it's just not there, and you don't need to force something that's not there, because if you force something that's not there, then at the end it's just going to be worse. And there's an old saying, money can't buy you love. And you know what, if she was looking for a millionaire boyfriend to replace Vince because he's a millionaire man, if the chemistry ain't right, if it's just not there, just don't force it, because at the end you're gonna have situations like this where the guy is now trying to get an order of protection against Tamar, trying to throw her under several buses so he could protect his name. So it's just not good. Don't force something that is not supposed to be for you, Pisces. If there's any Pisces out there listening to me, don't force it, because you're just going to waste your time at the end. It's going to turn out ugly. You're going to be in a toxic relationship for years. You're going to come out of it damn near on your knees trying to rebuild yourself. And it's just not good for Pisces people to force themselves to be in situations like this. Um, so let me go back into the chat. So Toya, you said that they say Sagittarius are prone to bisexuality. I never heard that before. I never heard that before. But I think that any sign could be prone to that, because as you see with the LGBT community, I mean, there I'm sure they have every kind of sign that you can think of, who may have been you know finding themselves in a situation where they are no longer interested in the opposite sex. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard recently. I should have had her thing up about Niecy Nash. Niecy Nash is a Pisces, and she just divorced her second husband, who, in my opinion, he was a chocolate thunder. You know what I mean? I thought he was very attractive, and I thought that they really made a good couple. And again, remember I was telling you guys before about how Pisces people, they have a bad habit of when they get in a relationship, they brag and they boast, and they have to continue to go on and on and on, flashing their rings in people's faces and bragging and boasting about how good their relationship is, only to turn around a couple of years later, everybody's seeing that you're going through problems in your relationship. Um, so yeah, Niecy Nash, she was one of those people. She even came out with a book, I think a couple of years ago, and I think her book was titled Belly Full, Sack Empty or something like that. And basically what she was trying to say was, cook the meals for your man and suck him dry so he won't run off somewhere. I think that was basically the gist of her book, and how she was trying to teach other women that's how you keep a man. And obviously, sadly, but it doesn't seem like that kept him, because they have a they are now divorced. And I was shocked to see, because I was rolling through Instagram and I was shocked to see that Niecy Nash, the woman who was bragging and boasting and even went as far as writing a book on how to keep a man, turned around. Again, that's her opinion. That's what she likes. Whatever floats her boat. And if you find love in whatever arena, I'm happy for whoever. But I was just shocked to see that, that Niecy was, you know, in a not even in a relationship. I was surprised to see that Niecy Nash got married. You know what I mean? And now she is. So I was just shocked. I mean, I did not see it coming. A lot of people didn't see it coming. I had to look at those pictures twice. I had to really dig deep into her Instagram to see if this was like fake, or was this a part of like a TV show, or was this a prank, because I never saw that part of Niecy Nash coming. But if she's happy, it looks like she's very happy in her wedding pictures. I'm happy for Niecy, but again, I just didn't see it coming. And if you look at Niecy, if you look at Tamar, and if you look at a lot of people who are Pisces people who are famous, you can see the pattern. And what I'm saying is that when they first get into a relationship, they brag and they boast and they show off, and people become jealous and envious, and they afflict them with the evil eye, and then before you know it, they're in divorce court, or they're, going through situations where there's domestic violence, there's suicide attempts, because all that boasting and bragging, now you're running in the corner in shame because your relationship is in shambles. Um so yeah, so let me see what INFJ will. So INFJ will, you said she looks way more into him. He just looks real distant. Yup, INFJ will. She really do. I mean, if you look at the pictures of Tamar, and again, this is Pisces. Pisces women have a bad habit of doing this. You know what I mean? They could be so into the man, they could be so into the relationship. Look, this is another picture. Remember I was telling you guys before that there was pictures that I've seen of Tamar and her new boyfriend, and for whatever reason her son just never really gave that energy of really feeling their connection. I mean, I know that he got a video on his Instagram picture, on his Instagram page, where he was showing that he was at the beach with his mom and, his son, and he was like being a great stepdad and trying to give the mom a break. I saw that video, and the son, he looked very happy. And there's many other videos where the son just looks very happy and trying to, be okay with the stepdad. But to be honest with you, that's just children. Children, they're resilient, they're adaptable, and if they see that their mom likes the guy, then they're gonna like the guy. You know what I mean? If they see that their dad likes the woman, they're gonna like the woman. Even though inside that child's heart, they really, really don't like their stepmom or stepfather, they'll adapt themselves to get along with that step parent just so they can make their mom or their dad happy. A lot of children go through it. And it's sad because a lot of children, they force themselves to like the step parents, and then at the end when stuff like this happens, now they're dealt with a situation where their mom or their dad has broken up, and now here comes another new mom, here comes another new dad, and now the child is going through that cycle again where they have to love and like this new person. And then if things don't work out, then here comes another new mom, here comes another new dad. And when you're constantly introducing all these different people into a child's life at a tender age, you're going to in a way afflict that child with like emotional issues down the line. You know what I mean? Again, I may be talking and saying things that, you know a lot of people may not like what I'm saying, but this is just my opinion. You know what I mean? This is just my opinion, that I'm just not an advocate for anybody with young children, even myself, you know what I mean, to be introducing somebody new into your child's life when there's no guarantee that it's going to last. You know what I mean? Even now that I'm talking, to whatever, I'm not going to, and I told that person, like, you can ask me about how my kids are doing. They're doing fine, but you're not going to be around my children. You're not going to come to my house. You're not going to sit at the table with my children. First of all, it's too early. Just lost my husband and they just lost their dad. So nobody new needs to be coming around my yard. Okay, that's number one. Number two, it's just not good, because if things don't work out, then now my children is face looking at me like, what happened to the last dude? You know what I mean? Now here comes another dude. Like, it's just, that pattern is just not good for kids. And again, this picture right here, it just shows me that, like, I don't think his son ever really liked the dude. You know what I mean? But again, that's just my opinion. But Pisces women, again, they do have a bad habit of doing things like this. And when I seen Tamar cut her hair like this and everybody embraced it, yeah, it does look good. I guess, not everybody could cut their hair like this. I know I damn sure couldn't. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't even dare to do something like this. Yeah, she can get away with it. But to me, this was just like a major red flag that she was crying out for help, because we don't know Tamar to look like this. And to be honest with you, I would rather her with the wigs and the weaves and the long hair than this, because to me, this just don't look like her. Just something about this just look, it just doesn't seem like this is her. But for whatever reason, this is, something that she introduced to the public and we embraced it. But to this day, I still don't accept this look on her. It just doesn't look right on her. But again, this is just my opinion. But to me, this was just like a major red flag that something was wrong with Tamar. And sure enough, as far as we know, she's in the hospital. Hopefully, she's out because she attempted suicide. So anyway, yeah, INFJ will, just like you said, she looks like she's way more into this dude than he is into her. And for whatever reason, I don't know. It's just like, to me, the chemistry, it just doesn't seem right. I mean, but again, Pisces women, and I think even Pisces men, but more so of Pisces women, they will force themselves in a situation that everybody could see is really just not for them. Um So, Toya, you said, yeah, Nisi surprised everybody with that. Yeah, laugh out loud. Yeah, she did. She damn sure surprised me. I'm still shocked to this day that, that she is where she is. But, if she's happy, then I'm happy for her. Happiness is better than what anybody likes. Um, so Toya, you said she knew for a while. You believe she said they were best friends. Okay, if they were best friends, then that's cool. But you know what? That goes back to, you know, did her ex-husband that she divorced, did he have a feeling inside that, her so-called best friend was more than just her best friend? And that's what led to their divorce? And then it also makes you think, because if I was her ex-husband, let's just say if I was in his shoes, and I was dating this man and he had a best friend, and then all of a sudden we get divorced, and then all of a sudden he marries his best friend, that would kind of shake me up inside, like, yo, all this time was he, what I mean, with his best friend behind my back? That's just not a good look, you know what I mean? But hey, life, you just never know how life is going to end up, you know what I mean? You just never know what things are going to end up to be. You think it's going to be one way with this person, you think you got everything laid out, and then something else happens, and then it's something totally different. You just don't know about life. um hey, M Lewis, so you said, hey guys, hope I'm not too late. Yeah, so you're not too late, but I have been talking shit for a while. But right now I'm just talking about Tamar and this latest event with her boyfriend David, who felt the need to go out on social media and tell the whole entire world that Tamar damn near tried to kill him by punching him in his jugular vein, and how he crashed his car. And I think he said he has like $30,000 worth of damage. I don't know why he had to say that. And how, things ended between him and Tamar. So that's basically what I'm talking about right now. So you said, can you do a video on Pisces men? Yeah, but I think I did one already, Toya. I think I talked about the sexology, which I can't wait until I get that energy back. And do more videos about sexology with these signs, because I really really enjoyed those videos. It was such a great feeling that I had when I was researching and talking about these signs and the sexuality and what they like. I really learned a lot myself on, these different signs. Um, so I can't wait to get back into that, but I have a lot of things to sort out. Toya, I'm sure you know, and I'm in a major, major transformation right now. I'm going through a major, major transition right now. I myself didn't even see this coming a year ago. Where I'm sitting at today, I had no idea I would even be sitting in this place, which is not a bad place, but it's just so different. It's just such a culture shock for me and my children. It's just such a shock for me. I'm just doing a lot of things that I never ever thought that I, would be doing. I'm working at a place that I worked for before many, many years ago, and I'm right back doing. It's like what they say, what goes around comes around, and the things that I was doing before, now that my husband has passed, it's like everything that I was doing before, I'm just like doing it again. Even where I'm living now is so strange, because I had posted a video on my channel, I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago, and I remember I was driving in the same, well, not the same area, but like the vicinity and where I live. And it's so weird. It gives me goosebumps right now when I talk about it, to know that where I was driving 3 years ago, I'm now living in that area. You know what I mean? It's just so freaking weird. And this is why I'm so conscious now about the things that I post, pictures that I take, videos that I do. Like, I'm so conscious about those things, because from what I notice in my life, that those things, they manifest in my life. So yeah, it's just so weird. So hopefully when I settle down, hopefully that will be soon. Um hopefully, I will be in a good headspace, and I will be producing those videos where I will be talking about more things that I think is important for all of us, especially if you're young out there, or even if you're not young. It doesn't matter how old you are. But if you're dating or if you're looking to get married, I highly, highly recommend anybody out there, if you can hear me loud and clear. I hope that you can hear me. Let me make sure I'm still recording. Okay, good. I'm still recording. Let me tell you something. Let me say this. Yo, if you feel that you are ready to take the next step with your significant other in a relationship. Thank you, Miss Lewis. Thank you for saying sorry for my loss. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really do. But if you feel like you are ready to get into something deep with somebody, like marriage, especially having a baby. Look, go ahead and get married 1,000 times. But if you're thinking about having a baby, please do the synastry, because you can't give a baby back. Okay, you can't divorce your baby. You can damn sure divorce that person, but once you start bringing children in the world, you are locked and loaded in with this person. And no matter how much you hate their guts, you're still going to have to be around this person because you have a child with this person. So I'm more of an advocate of getting married than I am for having somebody's child. So anybody out there, if you feel like you're ready to have somebody's baby, please do a synastry chart. If you feel like you're ready to walk down the aisle and sign your name in blood on the dotted line, because that's basically what you're going to do when you get married, is you damn near give up your life, please do a synastry. Please dig deep on that person before you do anything with this person, because take it from somebody who's been through some bullshit. You don't want to get yourself in a situation where it's not going to be right in the beginning. Like I said, it's always in the beginning where shit is good. It's always in the beginning where everybody gets along, where everybody loves each other, where you love the way that person's shit smells, and you love everything about that person. They can turn over in the morning, breath stinking, you still loving them, like anybody. But God forbid, once that leaf turns, and you're starting to see the person for who they truly are. Let me tell you something. Oh, baby, you do not ever want to get yourself in a situation where you know you can't stand this person and they can't stand you. And only if you would have did your spiritual homework, then you would have been able to see this a mile away, that this person just was not for you. Like I said before, not too long ago, there was this dude. He was actually a Scorpio. You know what I mean? And we were cool or whatever, and we're still kind of cool. I kind of had to cut him off because he has a lot of wonder if they could still. Am I still recording? Mic check 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Oh my god. No, I don't know if I'm still recording. Can you guys hear me? Okay, I'm not sure if I'm still recording because I think I had did something. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear me. I don't know if you guys can. Okay, good. You can hear me. Thank you, M. Lewis. Um. Okay, yeah. So good. So yeah. So I went home and I did my homework on Joke. Okay, and energetically, every time I got around Duke, he was cool or whatever. He did show improve and he took me out and we had a great time. He's a really good friend, but I think he just needs to stay in the friend zone. We can't go any further, me and this dude. You know what I mean? Because energetically, it's just we don't match. We don't, and I'm not gonna force myself to be with somebody who naturally I don't feel good around. So I went home and I did my little synastry report because I'm into astrology, guys. Of course, you know that. So of course I'm gonna break it down on a brother. Okay, if I'm gonna go any further, and sure enough, boom, they give you, there's, like I said, there's a program out there where you can put in your information and it'll give you like it'll say like a scale. Let me just give you an example from like a scale of 1 to 5. And if you're a 1, you stay in the friend zone. If it's a 2, you kind of still want to stay in the friend zone. If it's a 3, you can make it work, but it's going to be a lot of flexing and bending to be in this relationship with that person. If it's a 4, things will be easy. If it's a 5, it's excellent. And homeboy and me, we were at a 1.5. I mean, and energetically, I felt that with him. You know what I mean? And after I did the math on him, you know what I mean, I still became cool with him, and just eventually, I just had to wean that off because I'm not gonna waste my time with somebody who energetically, even without doing synastry, I know it's just not gonna work out. And then just to do the synastry report and see that things are not gonna work out, I'm not going to go any further. I'm an old woman now. You know what I mean? I have children. I'm a widow. I'm in limbo. I'm doing all these different things. I really just don't have time to waste in a relationship with somebody who spiritually is showing on the report is just not going to work out. I'm not going to waste my time. I have way too many things to do, too much things I need to catch up on my life. I'm not going to waste my time on something that is just going to be a dead end at the end. So, thank you for saying that, Treasure, that I'm not too old. Thank you. I really appreciate that. But according to some men, me being 42, I guess that's old. I think there was some guy who told me that I was an old woman. So, I mean, to some men, I am old, but hey, you know, um, but I'm not young. You know what I mean? I'm 42 years old. Before I turn around, God spares my life, I'll be, so I just don't have that much time to waste. I'm not a young chicken walking around, you know, I just don't have time to waste. So me and homeboy, I did the research, I did the synastry, and it ain't gonna work out. So I'm just saying this for anybody out there who's into astrology, please do the math. And if you do the math and you do the synastry report on your significant other. Oh, you're 42, Treasure. Oh, wow. Hey, Treasure. Hey, just want to say, hey, thank you for joining in and everything like that. So, yeah, so we're 42 and everything like that. So, we at a fun kind of age where we know what's up. If we know what the deal is. What we gonna do here? Nobody got no time to waste, no time to beat around the bush. So ain't nobody got time to play games, and just do the synastry report and don't waste no time. um but yeah, anybody out there, especially before you have a child by anybody, please do the signature report, because to me, having a baby by somebody is worse than getting married, because at least you can go to court, divorce the son of a bitch or the whore or whatever, and get rid of them. But if you have a baby by somebody, they're going to be in your life forever. It doesn't stop at 18. You're definitely probably going to be talking to that person way after that child turns 18. You're going to be in a long-term committed relationship where families will be blended with a person who is toxic. So, okay, M. Lewis, you said you are not old at all. He must only date immature 20-year-olds. You know what, M. Lewis? The funny thing is, another thing I want to say real quick, because I don't know if I had mentioned this the other day, but, and, of course, if you guys are my age, even younger or whatever, it doesn't matter. But whenever you get with somebody, have your ears wide open in the beginning, because from my experience, especially things that I've been going through lately with, dealing with dudes and stuff like that, is that in the beginning, it's like vomit. They will tell you everything that you want to know. Like when you first get with somebody, ask them all the questions that you would want to know, because they'll tell you in the beginning. Because I don't know, for some reason, after a while, when you start dating that person, after a while, they start shutting down, they start going silent, and those questions can't be answered. But when you first get with somebody, that's the best time to ask them all the questions in the world. Ask them, have you ever been to jail? Have been accused of anything? Because they'll tell you in the beginning, but I bet you as soon as you start, dealing with that person, weeks and months, and you start really getting intertwined and kissing them and hugging them, and God forbid, if you have sex, you'll never ever find out any information from them anymore. So if you ever date somebody, just ask them every and anything in the very, very beginning of that relationship, because I guarantee you, after a while, they're not going to tell you nothing, nada, zilch. That even goes with friends that I've even experienced. Like, you could first get with somebody, they're like an open book. After you start to get acclimated, start talking to them, they start talking to you, you start knowing them for weeks and months. All of a sudden, secrets are being held. They're not saying anything. They don't want to talk. They don't want to tell you this. They don't. Everybody got something to hide after they get to know you. But in the beginning, they're an open book. That's when you ask them all the questions. Um, so Treasure, you say, yeah, we know what's up. Laugh out loud. Yeah, we do. Treasure, we do know what's up. And I'm in your same state or whatever. And hopefully when the COVID and everything could calm down, hopefully we could hook up, because we are in the same state right now. So hopefully we could chill. You know what I mean? I cannot wait. I cannot wait until the government lifts this false flag, which I think is a false flag. But I cannot wait until, the clubs are opened up and everything is open up, and I can just start mixing and mingling with people in the physical, because I think that is so much better than this whole digital thing that they're forcing everybody to be comfortable with. um I just can't wait till things open up, and we can go out there and I can start mixing and mingling and just physically being around people, and just feeling a vibe. You know what I mean? It's all about the vibe and the energy with people. I can't feel the vibe with somebody really online. I can feel it in person. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's get to Homegirl's chart real quick. So anyway, we've already seen that Homeboy, for whatever reason, I don't know, Tay Tay, I don't know why you ain't see that this dude just wasn't for you, but we all could see that his energy wasn't flexing with you. But hey, if you love him, we like him. Also, Tay Tay, we are very sorry to hear that, you attempted suicide. I don't know exactly what happened, but I really and truly believe that this has something to do with maybe some secrets that maybe Mona Scott, this is just my opinion, guys. I'm wondering if there's some secrets or something that Mona Scott or maybe this reality TV has picked up on her. Um, you know, I'm wondering what is really going on with her that, she would feel that she had to take her life, because I mean there's so many people who don't have not even a third of what she has that would love to be in her shoes. And it just makes you wonder, like, why, all these famous people decide to commit suicide. Why do they kill themselves when they have all this money, all these riches, everything that a poor person or a person without would want. People always wonder, like, why would they do this? But as the old saying goes, money can't buy you love, and it damn sure can't buy you happiness. And right here just proves to us all that, all this fame, all this limelight, all being up in people's face on reality TV and all this shit, All of that shit at the end of the day, it really doesn't give you happiness. And like I said before, I really and truly believe in the evil eye. And the reason why I believe in the evil eye is because I myself have been afflicted by the evil eye. I myself have went through things and I've lost a lot of things dealing with the evil eye. This is why I believe in it so much. And if you don't believe me, just look at the track record with all of these reality stars who go on TV with their boyfriends, their husbands, their fiancés, their children's father, baby's mother, or whatever have you, their couple. Just look at the results. Just look at the statistics. Everything was gravy in a relationship with them. As soon as they hit reality TV and they start to sit in the eye of the enemy, all of a sudden these couples they break up. All of a sudden they're having problems. All of a sudden they're losing their health. They're losing their life. And remember, I also was telling you guys before that if a person is afflicted, and again, the disclaimer is not everybody is going to be affected by the evil eye. That is, I believe that's true too. I don't believe everybody who's on TV is going to go through things. I don't believe every couple who goes on TV is going to break up. But, because there are some people that are just naturally and spiritually protected. But myself, I feel like I'm the one, and it even says in my astrology chart that I am susceptible by the evil eye. And sure enough, I did go through that. You know what I mean? Where I was dealing with some people and they were right in my vision, and I'm telling you, everything that I had, I lost. Every single thing. Um, everything. And it's just sad. And when I looked at Tamar's ex-husband, Vincent Herbin, and I seen how when he first came on reality TV, some people say that he was obese and he was overweight. That's their opinion, but I think that the weight did look good on him, even though everybody thought that he should lose weight. Look at him now. He's lost weight and I guess everybody wants to accept him, but to me he just doesn't look like himself, and I think that has something to do with the evil eye. That's another affliction. Another affliction with the evil eye is that sometimes if you become afflicted by the evil eye, you will start to lose weight to the point where, I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie Thinner, that could happen to you, that you lose so much weight that you like damn near vanish in front of people's eyes because you're afflicted. You know what I mean? But if you don't have the spiritual knowledge, and if you don't know that you can become a victim of the evil eye, you may start to go through these things in people's face and you may not even know why, but there's just something in your chart, there's something in your energy that really makes you want to be seen, to the point where you continue to put your fucking life in front of the eye, and you don't even know that you're putting your life in danger because you're being afflicted. People who are afflicted by the evil eye, they may have issues with weight loss or gaining weight, and also issues with skin. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, people who are afflicted by the evil eye, all of a sudden they have problems with acne. They're suffering with bad skin, bad breath, bad body odor. You know what I'm saying? Then, before you know it, they're starting to lose things. You know, but again, a lot of people, they're just not knowledgeable on this. Or I think, some people who just really, because there's some people who just really just want to be seen for whatever reason. You know what I mean? And maybe that's just in their cards that they're supposed to come out and be seen. But when it gets to the point where they're narcissistic and they're just a narcissist who just wants people to adore them, they don't realize that they're putting themselves in danger, to the point that they can be afflicted to the point where they can actually lose their life, or they could lose their livelihood and lose every single thing that they have by a blink of an eye. And I think even on the new We TV, I think if you listen to the TV show that's about to come out with Tamar, when she sat down there with Mona Scott and she said that she was 42 years old and she had everything and she lost everything. And when she said that, I almost broke down and cried because I understand where she's coming from, but I also realized on the spiritual side that that probably happened to her because she was afflicted by the evil eye, and due to the fact that she was up there in people's face boasting, bragging, showing off, and just making people be jealous of her and envious of her diamonds, her jewelry, her Range Rovers, her mansions, her health, her wealth, her looks, everything that people just wish to God that they could just get just a third of what she had, that she was just pushing it, pushing it, pushing it in people's face. Boom, look what happened. Lost it all. And if I did think I mentioned that she has the life path number 8. People with the life path number 8, you gotta watch doing things like this, and you have to protect yourself against the evil eye, because you may find that you have all these riches, you have the house, you have the husband, you have the children, you have the dog, you have the white picket fence, you have money, you have a good job, you have health, you have wealth, you have everything, and you keep pushing all of your greatness in people's face. If you have a life path number 8, you gotta watch it, because what goes up, it has a high probability that it will come down, and all that showing off and all that boasting and bragging that you was doing, you may turn around and be hiding in a corner with a towel over your head, ashamed to be seen, because you are at the bottom with everybody else. Remember, you was showing off in everybody else's face. Now you're sitting right there next to them, and now you have to look in the face of these people that you made feel small. Now you're sitting in their seat, and now you see how that feels. So I don't play with the evil eye, but I really and truly believe that, Tamar and Vince and this whole situation is because of an affliction of the evil eye, and it seems that she kept pushing it and pushing it, even with this new reality TV show. And I think this was just at the point where she realized that, you know what, it really isn't worth like selling your soul, to be honest with you. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. I mean, doing this whole YouTube thing, when I seen the little YouTube checks that they giving out, and I'm like, you know what? I mean, it's good, the little crumbs on the table that they give, but it's just not enough to like entice me to want to be like, you know what? Let me go on YouTube and let me just continue to do it and do it and do it and sit up in everybody's face for these crumbs that YouTube is giving me, because to me, it's just not worth the exchange. But you know what? Hollywood, this is the exchange that they have to give. The exchange is you give up your soul, you give up your livelihood, you give up your rights, to the point where now these people feel like they have the right to record everything that you do because you're so hungry and thirsty for money. Um so let me go and look at Tamar's chart real quick, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Um but this is Tamar's astrology chart. Again, I'm not up here acting like a big wig. I don't know everything about astrology. I'm learning as I go. Okay, so there may be some things that I am wrong about. So I will stand corrected, and I do apologize if I do say something tonight that is totally wrong. I am sorry in advance. But this is Tamar's chart. She was born March 17, 1977, and she is a Pisces, but she's a March Pisces. So she's different from Rihanna. Rihanna is born in February, and you can put them side by side, and you can see that the energy of Rihanna, who's a Pisces, is so different from Tamar, who's a Pisces. That's because Rihanna is born in the month of February, so she's more timid, she's more gentle, she's more introverted than Tamar, who's born in the month of March, who's also a Pisces, but she's more extroverted. She's loud, she's gregarious, and she's aggressive. And it's obvious that she's aggressive because her latest boyfriend David even came out and said that she was aggressive, to the point where now he is filing for order protection against him. And I think I didn't get a chance to mention this before earlier because I got kind of distracted or whatever, but this is the advice that I would give my sons, and this is the advice that I would give any man out there. If you find that you are in a relationship with a woman and she is an aggressor, and she has put you in a position where your back is against the wall, don't mind about what people are saying about how you're a sucker from running to the police and getting an order of protection. Protect yourself. Okay? Protect yourself, because we all know that 9 times out of 10, if a woman says that a man hit her or whatever the situation is, 9 times out of 10, no questions asked, there's a good chance that the man will get arrested before the woman does. So this is the advice that I would give my sons. If you feel like you're in a relationship with a woman who is trying to set you up, trying to push you in a corner, or who's the aggressor, and you feel like, something is about to happen, go ahead and get that paperwork. Go ahead and start that paper trail, because you have to protect yourself. Because there's a good chance that society is not going to be on your side. And some people will call him a sucker for doing this. But if he's telling the truth, and if he's saying that Tamar was the aggressor, I think he was right by doing what he needed to do, because he has to protect himself at the end of the day, because everybody's gonna look at him like he's the abuser, when nobody knows that she's really the abuser. But that's only if it's true. But if it's not, then he is a sucker for this. But if it is, he's doing the right thing. And I think a lot of other men need to follow suit and do what he's doing too, because you have to protect yourself. Because when push comes to shoving, and when you're standing in front of that judge, the judge is going to be looking at a man more as the aggressor than he is about that woman. So he did the right thing by going to start that paperwork. So anyway, let me just look at her chart real quick. There's some things that I wanted to point out to you guys too. Some things that I had mentioned to you before. And lo and behold, remember I was telling you guys that even if you look at your own astrology chart, anytime you see that you have 2 degrees in your astrology chart, there's a good chance that you are going to be famous, that you are going to be well known. There's something that's going to happen in your life where you're going to leave a legacy. And lo and behold, look, Tamar has that. She has moon in Pisces at 2 degrees. I don't really have to go too much into her chart, because a lot of these things I already covered. She has Venus and Aries. I already have videos on my channel where I talked about. I think I even thumbnailed Tamar's picture, because I was talking about her in that video in my Venus and Aries. Everything that you want to know about Venus and Aries, especially in regards to Tamar, I have a video on my channel already talking about that. And she has Venus and Aries. Mercury in Pisces, there's a bad rumor going around saying that people who have Mercury in Pisces have bad communication skills, which could probably be true. And for whatever reason, people may find that they're confusing in their communication, which could be true. And they may make a fool of themselves in regards to communication. Something about Mercury and Pisces, it's like they may have had issues like when they were younger. People may have made fun of Tamar, saying that she couldn't talk right, or people may have tried to say that she was like a dummy or whatever because of that Mercury and Pisces. So people who have that, again, may have history of, at one time in their life, most likely in their younger years, that people were saying that they weren't talking right. Something was messed up about her speech, to the point where now that she's older, she's loud, and now she really wants to be heard, because there was probably something going on with her when she was younger, where she was stifled and she couldn't talk, or people didn't respect her talking, or she probably, people didn't want to listen to what she had to say. And now that she's older and she has a voice, now she's so loud, and people don't really understand why she's so loud. She wants so much attention. It's probably because of that Mercury and Pisces, some difficulty that she had maybe when she was younger. And but it flips. So if you have Mercury and Pisces, there's a good chance that you've had those same issues, but it doesn't last forever. Moon and Pisces, I don't know if I did a video on Moon and Pisces. I got so many videos, I don't even remember, but I probably did. I don't know. I can't remember, but she got a Moon and Pisces. So right there, it tells me that she's very emotional, and it's gonna take a strong man to be with Tamar. To be honest with you, if I was a man, I wouldn't even want to be with Tamar, because she just looks like she's too much to handle. She's loud, she wants attention, and just looking at her astrology chart, she has the sun in Pisces, which makes her an emotional person. Oh, I did. Thank you, Nisha. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right, but thank you for that. She has the sun in Pisces. She's an emotional person. She has the moon in Pisces, what makes her even more emotional. And then she has Mercury in Pisces. So her sun in Pisces, emotional. She's mentally emotional, and her speech, she's emotional, and it's gonna take a very, very strong man. It's gonna take a special kind of dude to deal with a woman like this, because she got too many emotional mood swings. You know what I mean? One day she's probably cool, next day she's not. You know what I mean? And God forbid if she's like my sister, who's also a Pisces. Oh my God! Again, I don't even know. To be honest with you, Pisces is a sign. If a Pisces person does not have their head on right, it's really a lot to be in a relationship. It's a lot to deal with a Pisces person, because it's too many mood swings. You know what I mean? And once I started to study astrology, and I started to really dive deep into myself, I became more conscious, and I was like, you know what? I better chill, because I'm like that too. And one day I could be cool, and next day I'm not. And another thing, just looking at her astrology chart, I bet you she does this. And a lot of Pisces people do this too. They have a bad habit bringing up the past. So you could be in a relationship with a Pisces person, especially if a Pisces is dating a Sagittarius. I bet you any amount of money a Sagittarius will say that what I'm saying is true. If a Sagittarius dates a toxic Pisces, you know what this Pisces person will do? Let's say you had an argument or a fight with a Pisces person, right? Back in January of 2020. Here we are, September 2020. A toxic Pisces person will bring up something that you did in January, and they will bring it up in September as if you did it yesterday. And then they will bring it up with so much emotion, so much aggression, so much sadness, so much depression, to the point that they can even become like an energy vampire on another person, and then drain that person and make that person become depressed. And then before you know it, that person is suffering from depression because of this Pisces. So sometimes Pisces people, they have to be very conscious of this, because it's something natural that they do. They like to bring up the past. They're always talking about something that happened years ago as if it happened yesterday. You know what I mean? And then that weighs down on other people. And I was just saying that, there's a lot of people out here who are energy vampires, and they don't even know that they are. And they're vampires with energy because they only want to talk to you when shit is bad. I don't know if you guys have friends out there like that, when shit is good, you call their phone, it's going straight to voicemail. You texting them, they're not texting you back until hours later, maybe weeks later. You know what I mean? When they're never available when shit is good. When they're good with their man, okay? When they're good with their woman, you can't hear from them. They ain't nowhere to be found. And when you do talk to them, they act shady, they act shaky, they're short with you, they don't want to talk to you because they got it going on in their life. But as soon as the curtain falls down on their ass, okay, as soon as everything turns bad, they're calling your fucking phone off the hook. They're staying on the phone with you hours on end, and you're trying to sit there and console them because you really just enjoy their friendship, but you don't even realize that this person is an energy vampire, and they only call you when shit is fucked up in their life. Okay? They only want to talk to you when shit is bad, but when shit is good, you can't hear from these people. These people are energy vampires. And sometimes when you get off the phone with these energy vampires who only want to talk to you when shit is fucked up in their life, when you get off the phone with them, you find that your energy is drained. You can't do the things that you wanted to do before you got on the phone with that person. You can't concentrate. You start worrying about things that they're worried about that has nothing to do with you, because it's like they're afflicting you with shit that's going on in their life. Also, with these energy vampires, I noticed too is that, these are the types of people who will call you when shit is fucked up, because they want to share that energy on you. So they usually, like, sometimes it's like a spiritual garbage can where they dump all of their negativity on you. And then before you know it, you feel like you're a counselor, a fucking damn psychologist talking to this person. because they're just dumping all their negativity on you. And then by the time they have finished relieving themselves all that negativity, you hang up the phone, and then before you know it, you feel like them, and if not worse. And sometimes a toxic Pisces can be like that. And looking at her astrology chart, she has the sun in Pisces, moon in Pisces, Mercury in Pisces, with that Venus in Aries, which is very aggressive. You know what I mean? It's going to take a special type of dude to deal with a woman like this, because yes, she comes with not only physical baggage, but she comes with a lot of emotional baggage, and that's hard for somebody to deal with. And Sagittarius people, you know what I mean, they Sagittarius people, they like to have fun, they like to talk to a lot of people. A positive Sagittarius, because I did do my dark side, but a positive Sagittarius people, they like to be around a lot of people, they like to have fun, they like to socialize, they like to think positive, that like to move around. And if you're dealing with a toxic Pisces who's always in the dump, always woe is me, and always talking about fucking things that happened years ago, always talking about what their father did to their mother, always, that weighs a Sagittarius down, and then the relationship is gonna break apart, and it's just gonna be problems. So looking at Tamar's chart, to be honest with you, I mean, as much as we probably don't like David because we don't like his energy from what we're seeing in these pictures, it could be that, this dude was like, you know what? I love you. Because a lot of people do love Pisces, but, you got to love them with a long spoon. You got to love them from a distance because, it could be so energy draining that they can't be with you. And if they stay with you, it's just going to bring them down. So it could be true that, he had to like break off the relationship, not because he doesn't think that she's attractive, not because she's not a great person, it's just that she needs to work on herself before she gets into another relationship. And to be honest with you, she should have worked on herself getting out that relationship with Vincent before jumping in this relationship with this dude, because it sounds like he got his shit together. You know what I mean? The only thing he needs, to be honest with you, is a queen in his life who's going to help him build from where he's at, not somebody who is, down on their luck. And he needs somebody who is grounded and has not only their finances together, but their emotions together. And looking at her chart, she may be suffering from like major emotional problems. So I'm not surprised that we're hearing stories of her wanting to take her life, because she's dealing with too many emotional issues. Okay. Um so she has Mars in Aquarius. So right there's a good indication that, she's probably has a past of dating a lot of dudes, a lot of relationships. Um ooh, this is one thing, and I'm going to get out of here after this. This is one thing I want to talk to you guys about. Do you see what I see, guys? Do you see the most devastating, heartbreaking, sad part in her chart? Anybody out there, if you have Saturn in Leo, and I think I've said this 1,000 times, if you have Saturn in Leo, if you have Saturn in the seventh house, you best to believe you are going to have some major, 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 major relationship problems. I could almost bet maybe, $100. I can give up $100. I could bet $100. Anybody who has Saturn in the seventh house, if you are out there listening to me, I bet you any amount of money you got mad problems in your relationship. You may have a relationship that's long lasting, longer than your girlfriend's, but there's a good chance that you got some motherfucking problems in your relationship, and you're not really sure why, you're not sure where this is coming from. If you have Saturn in Leo or Saturn in the seventh house, there's a good chance that people like you. They like what they see. You like what you see. The relationship is perfect, but for whatever reason, there's a communication block. Like you could text, like let's say if you have Saturn in Leo or Saturn in the seventh house, you could text somebody, and for whatever reason, they're not texting you back. You could probably want to get with somebody, and for whatever reason, there's a problem where you guys can't really get with each other. You know what I mean? there's a problem where you really can't solidify the relationship. And if you do get past that point where the relationship is solidified, you're finally able to get with this person, you get with them, and then all of a sudden the relationship is toxic, and then you're feeling like you're trapped in this bad relationship, or this person feels like they're trapped in a bad relationship with you. And even though the relationship lasts longer, because it lasts long because Saturn, wherever Saturn is stability, but Saturn is sadness. So you will be in a relationship with somebody, but it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be real hard if you have Saturn in Leo. If you have Saturn in the seventh house, you're gonna have some major karma with relationships. And when I saw that she had Saturn in Leo, I was like, wow, that really does explain why she's having so many problems in a relationship. It's that Saturn and that Leo. That's why. And then also, if you have Saturn and Leo too, you may find that for whatever reason, because Leo is a sign that is, it needs to be seen. It's supposed to be seen. Um, it's supposed to be out there. But if you have a sign that is supposed to be out there, supposed to be seen, supposed to be in front of the public, and you have Saturn there, there's a restriction. So I wouldn't be surprised that, she's supposed to be in the public, but with Saturn being in Leo, there's a problem with her and the public. So this is why she's probably so afraid for, us to see this new reality show that's coming out. It's probably because we're gonna see some things that we didn't see that side of her. See, when she was dealing with Vince, and she was dealing with, because Vince, he's a businessman. I think Vince was good for her. I really think that Vince was good for her. But sometimes, and again, I don't mean to be dogging out Pisces people, but sometimes Pisces people, they could be looking for that fairy tale relationship where, you want good sex, you want love and attention, you want money, you want the house, you want the kids, you want the dog, you want the fancy cars, you want to flash your ring in your girlfriend's face, you want all this fantasy life, but you don't want to live in reality. You know what I mean? You don't want to live in reality. And I think that Vince was her reality. Vince was that stable rock that he wasn't going to fluff her feathers like that. And I really do think that Vince was good for her, but she was looking for a fantasy life, and he wasn't going to have that. And, with her having a man in her life like Vince, who I think he was good for her. I think that, they could have went high together, but for whatever reason, she just thought that she can get better, and she, whatever. I don't know what happened with their relationship, but from a Pisces standpoint, that's probably what happened. And she wanted the relationship to be over, and now it's over, and now she doesn't have somebody on her back who can hold her down properly. And her doing this reality show, she don't have Vince that was there to like really control things and put things in a proper perspective. And now she's out there like a fish out of water, and now we finna see another side of Tamar that she probably doesn't want us to see, and that's because of that Saturn in that Leo. So that's what I wanted to say. And I'm gonna hurry up and get up out of here because it's late. I got things to do. I know I've been talking way too long. Sometimes I could be long-winded. Sorry about that and everything like that. But I just was trying to figure out what the hell is going on with my baby Tay Tay, because I do like Tamar. But I'm very sad to see how things ended up. And every time I look at her son, it just saddens me that I just in a perfect world, in a perfect life, if things were perfect in this life, it would have been right that Tamar would have been with her husband, and her son would have been growing up in the same house with the father. That's the way life should be, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I feel like when you have children, I think that it's good for kids to be in a home with two healthy parents, of course, But I think, it's right for a child to be in the home with their father, their biological father, and their biological mother, because that's what, it's supposed to be like. And that's healthy for a child. And, due to the fact that things didn't work out, the family is now broken. Of course, she's going to move on. And of course, he's going to move on. But you have this child who loves the mother, his mother, and you have this child who loves their father, but their parents, they can't get along. And, now the mother is dating these different people and the father is dating these different people. And now you have this child who is being forced to like these different people. This destroys people, this destroys kids. And then, this is the foundation. And then we wonder why we're going through all these things in this world, is because once the foundation is broken, everything else is going to be broken. You can't build a house on water. You know what I'm saying? So once the foundation is broken down, everything in life is going to be broken down. And then everybody wonders, why are we so fucked up in life? We're fucked up in life because the family foundation is broken. And once the family is broken, everything after that trickles down into society. And now you're dealing with kids that are broken because they come from broken homes, and then they grow up with this anger and this hatred and all this past regret, all this past sadness from what they seen their parents go through. And when they grow up, they're going to turn around and treat their women like that. They're going to turn around and treat their man like that because they grew up in a situation like that. You know what I mean? So it's like generational curses that keep rolling and keep passing down generation from generation, culture to culture. And then we wonder why we're living in such a toxic world with a toxic fucking president, with us walking around with masks on. It's just all fucked up because the foundation is fucked up. And I think that this is why I love astrology, because I feel like if I knew this science a long time ago, I just wish my mom's was into this, because it would have been so many things that I could have worked on. But I guess everything happens for a reason. But I just love astrology because if you can really dig deep and like really evaluate yourself, evaluate the potential partners that you may get into a relationship with, if you can just do everything from the jump, from the front street, you can kind of like avoid things down the line. This is just my opinion. I may be wrong, but I just think that, for people who are into the astrology community, I think that this is just something that we should just try to, try to incorporate, not just to take it so seriously like the Bible, but just like for the fun of it, just something like some scientific type of science that, we can incorporate and just see, because I think that this stuff does help. And I think that, if she would have did the synastry and her and David, she probably would have seen that this dude was gonna turn on her, and things were gonna turn out right. And maybe if she would have did the synastry, I don't know if she's done it already on her and Vince, maybe she would have been able to see that, what, Vince, he's not gonna be as emotional as you like, but he's gonna be somebody who's gonna be good for you. He's gonna be a rock. You know what I mean? But you're going to have some problems. And, I think if people are aware of these things, then when these things come up, it's not going to be a whole surprise. And, you're catching all these emotions and feeling some type of way because this person is something different that they were. Because in the beginning, everybody puts their best foot forward. In the beginning, everybody shows you the best side of them. But after a while, you get with people and then they start to show their true colors shining through. And you're like, whoa, I don't like this person. You don't like this person because that person didn't show you their true selves in the beginning. If they would have just came out and said from the jump, look, I'm a player, I'm a hater, you know what I mean? I'm a mean ass person, I'm aggressive. They would have just came out and told you this is who I am, then you would have been like, you know what? Right there, you have a choice before you have sex with this person, before you get emotionally involved with this person. Do you still want to go further with this person? Then you make up your mind. But you know what? People are not going to come out and tell you that. They're not going to come out and say that I'm a bitch. They're not going to come out and say that I'm an aggressive domestic abuser. They're not going to say that to you. But if you're able to look at their synastry, you can see it. It's all written in the chart, baby. They can't hide from this, but they can hide from you. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I thank everybody who joined me in the chat. I hope I didn't miss anybody who was typing in the chat. I hope I answered all the questions. So I think the only ones I'm missing. Okay, so Honey Love. Okay, let me go back. I think okay. So Nija, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name. Symbandix. You said Moon in Pisces requires discernment and emotional stability and control in my experience so far. Yes, Moon in Pisces people, very, very emotional people, very, very sensitive, and they do need to they really need to gain control. Too many mood swings with the Moon in Pisces, and and yes, they can be gullible, and they're not able to see people for because it's too much fantasy. Anytime you have like a lot of water and you're dealing with all this Pisces, sometimes they can like be walking around with like a blindfold, and then only when it's too late and the glasses fall off and they're broken on the floor, then you open your eyes and you realize that you're living in a house full of shit. Then you're like, oh my god, what the fuck was I thinking? What the fuck? I couldn't see this because you're blinded. Um, so M. Lewis, you said very true about I'm Sagittarius. Oh, okay, M. Lewis. Yeah, so I hope I didn't say anything to disrespect the Sagittarius people. Um, you know, so yeah, so you already know as a Sagittarius person, you already know what it is. Um, Honey Love, you said, oh, yay, treasure. So Honey Love said, oh wow, didn't know that about Saturn and Leo. Yeah, Saturn and Leo, man, you know what? One of these days, again, once everything settles down, I hopefully could do a video on Saturn and Leo and really, really get into it deeper. So Nidra, you said there's a difference between being a vampire and being weak. Yeah, there is a difference. There is a difference, but from what I'm seeing in this world, especially now, and the culture that we're in, this is September 11th, 2020. We do have a lot of energy vampires out here, and I don't really think that. I think a lot of people who are vampiric, I don't even think that they know that they're doing that. You know what I mean? Because they're so used to doing it to everybody and just so used to doing it, period, that they don't even realize that, they're like vampires and they're draining energy from people. But there is a difference. You're right. There is a difference from being a vampire and from being a weak person. Okay, so I'm rolling it down. I'm gonna get out of here. And then Treasure, you said I fantasy life longing can be catastrophic. Yeah, living in a fantasy, it can be catastrophic because when you wake up and you're faced with reality, there's gonna be a lot of cleaning up that you have to do, and you never want to get so caught up in fantasy life where you're not aware of reality. And the sad part about it in 2020, you would think that people would be more aware, people, would be more into reality, but in 2020, man, it just seems like, people are more into fantasy life, and it's just so weird to me. Anyway, last but not least, Treasure, you said it was great listening to you. So thank you so much, Treasure. So let me go ahead and get out of here. I thank everybody for listening. Again, if I disrespected anybody's son or whatever, I don't mean to. I was just talking about the dark side or whatever. So, for all those Pisces out there, please don't, get mad at me or whatever. I'm just talking about like the dark side of it. And to be honest with you, and I said this many, many years ago, I would rather learn more about the dark side than about the light side, because the light side we see the light. The dark is something that a lot of us don't want to see. A lot of us don't like to walk in darkness. We don't like to deal with the darkness because we just don't want to deal with it. But I want to deal with darkness because to me, if you can conquer, if you can master that darkness inside of you, then of course you can deal with the light. The light is easy. Darkness is not. Um, so thank you, Lewis. You said great life. Thanks for the knowledge you dropped on us. Thank you so much, Lewis. I really, really appreciate everybody. Today is September 11th. Let's not forget the lost people of the World Trade Centers. All these people who were affected. Um, I thank you guys so much. Hopefully, I can come back again, do another video. Like you suggested, more videos on Pisces. Definitely more video on Saturn. Just more videos. Period. And hopefully, one of these days, guys. I don't know, join me, and I want to hear what you gotta say. I want to hear your information because I don't know it all. I damn sure don't know it all, and I would like to learn. I'm learning as I go, and I really, really appreciate the show, and I appreciate you guys. I really do. Have a wonderful night, and later, guys.